Welcome to Throwback Thursday, a trip down memory lane showcasing the golden era of RC cars. What is happening, YouTubers? Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Throwback Thursday, where today on the Throwback Thursday bench, we are going to be chatting a little bit about the Tamiya Boomerang. The Tamiya Boomerang was released in 1986. It's a four-wheel drive buggy, independent suspension on all four tires, on all four corners. However, it does have a pretty neat design. It's got a monoshock in the front, independent rear suspension in the back. Pretty cool design. The only other Tamiya buggy that shares this exact chassis, this exact platform, is the Tamiya Super Sabre, which was released 1 year later. The Boomerang kind of sits in that OG family of Tamiya four-wheel drive buggies, the HotShot, the Bigwig, Super Sabre, of course, the Boomerang itself. They all share a lot of similarities. However, each one's a little bit different from the other. One of the things that make the Boomerang so appealing, at least in my opinion, is this really cool wedge-shaped body, a very aerodynamic body with a giant scoop with a wing on the back. Really, again, it's lending itself to that 80s era of kind of these Tamiya wedged bodies, aerodynamic, crazy nonsense triangles everywhere. Really, really cool. Now, I will have to say again, guys, this is a re-release. This is not an original Tamiya Boomerang kit. And in fact, this is my wife's Boomerang. She fell in love with the Boomerang when she saw them getting re-released a few years ago. And this was a Christmas gift I got for her about 3 years ago. And she obviously went with something a little different than the normal box art. She went with this really nice yellow, which I think looks great. It's right in line with the CVA damper color. I think it looks awesome. Made a bit of a boo-boo when she painted the side here. She forgot to mask her side windows. But that's all good. That's part of the hobby, RC hobby experiences when you make little mistakes like that, these little fun quirks. But at any rate, this is her Boomerang, and she was nice enough to let me show it off to you guys today. Again, one of the neat design elements of the Boomerang is having the front monoshock design, which was a pretty hot ticket item back in the mid to late 80s in the world of Tamiya, even in the 90s, I think. But really kind of a cool design where the lower A-arms have this cantilever plastic setup and one sort of pinches on either end of the shock. Really kind of a neat design with the front suspension and a anti-sway bar along the front here with independent suspension, both separate upper and lower A-arms. Pretty cool design. As for the rear suspension, we do have independent suspension once again with one shock on each tire. So no more monoshock. Still in that HotShot family, but this time we've got each corner has its own shock on the rear end. We've got dog bones on all four corners, and the CVA Tamiya yellow dampers that have been used on so many rigs in the past are being used on this rig. This rig is a little on the under-maintained side of things. The shocks have been leaking oil. I don't think she assembled them right, but don't tell her I said that. They've been leaking oil. It's pretty bouncy. It needs a little bit of love, but she loves running this thing. Great beach buggy, by the way. If anyone's looking for a fun beach buggy, this is your guy. Let's pop the body off and see what the chassis looks like and see what's happening inside. Couple body clips, and we've got this really cool protective Lexan layer inside here. So that plastic tray just moves out of the way with the removal of this screw. However, it's kind of broken and just sitting there. So that just kind of moved out of the way. And she has, you know, she's done a little bit of salvaging on this thing. She's taken the receiver out of it for another rig. So I'll show you what we do have in here, though. We do have a waterproof brushed ESC sitting in here. And with all that stuff out of the way, here's how the kit comes. And we've got this little drive shaft. It's actually surprisingly quite a thin drive shaft. But again, a design element that you've seen in the HotShot and the Bigwig family in the past. Even the Fire Dragon, you're going to see this exact same drive shaft in here with the just linking the rear gearbox to the front gearbox. No center differential in this guy at all. Rocking the big money Tamiya 540 silver can, standard, very standard 27 turn 540 motor, which it's a little underpowered on this rig, guys. I'll be honest. This rig, I think, would be a little better suited with like if you threw a BZ or a TZ in here, you'd be laughing. This thing would eat it up all day long. In fact, if you haven't watched my HotShot video, my Throwback Thursday HotShot video, I'll put a link in the description box below. Check it out, because I'm running I think a 10-turn brushless setup in that thing, and this gearbox is plenty strong. It can handle it all day long, and it really brings a buggy to life. These buggies are surprisingly tough, and they can handle quite a bit of juice. And the last thing I want to mention about this buggy is this really cool battery tray sort of release area. And they've done something quite a bit different I've never seen on another Tamiya. You've got this little handle here, and you pull this plastic rod out, and it's hinged, it opens up, and here you've got a nice big battery tray. In fact, you can fit a nice standard 2S LiPo pack in here today, which is what we've run this truck on, or this buggy on. And it fits in there beautifully. So really kind of a funny design, I think. Again, it's got some, hints of a HotShot where they've got a similar design, but this one's just kind of, this long plastic pin is a little barbaric by today's standards, but hey man, it was the 80s. Everything was a bit different back then. So thanks again for tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate you guys watching the show, and I hope you enjoyed checking out the Tamiya Boomerang with me. We've got lots more Throwback Thursdays coming up and more running videos coming up real soon, guys. I was fortunate enough to pick up a couple new kits. I've got the Tamiya Fire Dragon, which I built last weekend. We've got a running video coming up on it. Promise you, again, it's been raining so much, but I promise you I'll have that thing up and running real soon. And same with the Lowride Pumpkin. I still owe you guys a video of that. And I've also got a new in-box frog sitting right over here that needs to be built. If you guys want to watch a build video on that, let me know, because I find I build videos not the most exciting, but if you guys want to see it, I'll definitely record it and make a build video of a Tamiya Frog ORV chassis, classic chassis that's been around for a long time, and a lot of cool bodies and a lot of cool different variations of that chassis exist. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments below. Really appreciate it. Love you guys. As always, be excellent to each other.